Agion here with another Grey Goo Community Tournament 1v1 replay. And I just realized when I was recording about 3 minutes in that my microphone was muted. So here's take number 2. We got an early refinery into factory, nothing too major. And we got a extractor here. Nothing, not too big surprise. Factory though may result in a bit of aggression. We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit. There's nothing much to see at this point. Another refinery. Looks like he has built another commando. This commando actually has been shooting at this entity the entire time, getting some damage. Looks like we've got now 2 advents up. He does have another extractor set up here. Looking at to build some clasher supply for defense, since there's there's this commando. There's going to be a wall segment to make a 1080 health commando. Go away. Yeah, that will get annoying really quickly hearing that pew, 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 pew for the past 2 minutes. And he does actually pull back in a very good time, managed to keep this commando alive while the clashers are just now coming out. Looks like he may be eyeing for another extractor location. That's the only reason why yeah, he do have another extractor coming up. You got a forward factory, and perhaps it's going to be a forward refinery for right here. Got a small hub, another one, perhaps another factory and a refinery perhaps. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit into this game, both sides just happily echoing away. Here we go. We got more infrastructure, more factories. Got an artillery attachment in a factory and a tank attachment in the factory coming up soon. And he just did build a refinery, not using the other side of these small hubs. Perhaps then he should just place it sideways and only have one small hub. We got a number of stalkers coming out the right side. We do got some tech upgrades. Hellstroms can move and shoot, while Howlers have AoE and range with decreased rate of fire. The Howler upgrade make them into a mortar instead of a grenadier. We got this extractor being under attack. Got a couple more extractors here. There's too much damage for him to just repair this out. He's going to need to send a defense force. He'll go for counterattack. We do got a single clasher poking in. He does about the factory and wall segment. And this extractor will go down. Will you actually see this over there? No, you will not. Out of curiosity, while them are doing that, let's see what they're looking at. Looks like Suds is looking at the Crucible, looking at his forces. And it looks like he's actually going to set up a forward line here with those wall segments. Probably for the commandos here. He could put some predators on it if he so chooses. Got a number of aversion field. That's been interesting. I never really see aversion fields being used that much, so I'm not exactly sure how too effective they are. I know the human walls, not a lot of people get them, but allows you to basically deny the line of sight through the wall, allowing you to have basically a bush advantage wherever you want. Of course, they can be focused on. We do got a Chime, the scouting unit. It is also the natural detector unit. I wonder if he's seeing up there, actually. I guess going up half the way will allow him to see it. He will start poking that extractor. The virgin field's not up just yet, so there's no pushing. We should see a response force of clashers. Because there's 2 extractors here. In fact, one may go down. This aversion shield may say that he does... Oh, I thought he was at 70 HP. He may have sold that off. And keep an eye on the catalyst up here in case if he sells this one off. He's at 3.5. 6. No, that one just definitely got destroyed. You got a Echo coming in. That frog's going to be jumping around on these units. He's going to send these clashers, but there's howitzers and there's howitzers, hailstroms, and plenty of wall segments. So these guys just got sent to their death. Over here, we're losing those 2 extractors. It's not exactly ideal. We have a Zenith from the Chime. We got a Crucible. Got a number of Howlers coming out. The Echo does 5 damage, rate of fire. Well, it's a bit misleading. That frog jumps around for quite a bit of time. Its range is 950 in comparison to Hailstrom's 800, so it does have better range. It does lose those 2 aversion fields, setting up a couple wall segments for probably some commandos. He only has 1 commando heading up in that location. And he is setting this force. It's largely composed of the Howlers, but there is a Siren just in case. This one wall segment will be cleaned up. The Echo shot will in fact totally miss. The Siren goes in a bit foolishly ahead. Actually getting a nice bit of splash damage there. The Echo is starting to do a bit of damage itself. Ooh, pretty good barrage there. We got these factories being set up. It would be ideal if he spots this to go ahead and hit the small hubs. Over here we do got an assault. Looks like the clash. This force was overwhelmed. The ejector will be cleaned up. We got a couple advents here. Now they're going to be building a couple units to harass that economic line. AoE is enough to destroy the factories first over the small hub. Let's destroy that wall segment, but he should have focused these factories. I suppose he has plenty of time. This force is now starting to come into the main base. We've got the advents coming down. Defending Howlers will eventually perhaps be able to clean up using the armor of these buildings to help take the impacts. Overall, losing quite a bit of economy. He's down to only 4 refineries, and compared to his opponent has quite plenty. I wonder where those clashers went. There was a couple clashers being built. This factory line will get cleaned up. Perhaps he should have just sold that off. Commando coming in to scout. We'll meet Howler Fire and Echo Fire. There's a significant amount of artillery here, so he can one-shot these groups slowly and slowly. We do got predators. They do have, of course, the armor themselves, so they can withstand a bit more numbers. But these stalkers just getting ripped apart. Hailstrom's doing some good amount of damage, but it's not hadn't got any kills yet. It looks like it's getting some kills now. This force is being slowly whittled apart. Where's the Echo? The Echo's still here. Currently the frog is hopping around as much as it can, but it looks like the Echo will be left behind and cleaned up. And a decent amount of reversion fields. Looks like we do got the Predators now fire single shots over the volley, which will help prevent any overkill. You still got the 2 advents. I still don't know what happened to those clashers. You got a number of clashers and howlers here. The force is being streamed in one by one by the beta player, so they're tending to be picked off. The force is starting to be whittled away by the artillery. Both sides, really. He's going to go straight into the bush. Going to get a nice engagement angle. Does fire a volley, killing one of the hailstroms. The Echo is here. It will have its frog hop around on top of the stalker. We do got a Shriek. The Shriek is basically a gunship, which would probably be a good idea. wouldn't be surprised if I see a couple Guardians come out in these wall segments. We got a force coming up here. Various damage forces of Stalkers, Commandos, and the Predator. We'll pick off this Echo. The Aversion Field will interrupt their pathing. That one sort of actually helped them push them around a bit. The Shrieks are going to try to line up the shot, but of course they need time to prepare. This Aversion Field will get cleaned up. This is starting to clean up these Aversion Fields. They're just being annoying. So we do got the Shriek here. We'll destroy the two small hubs first. It is going to also get a Clasher. Looks like he may have Q moved that up. Very nice. This Shriek is starting to fire. Of course, it's not exactly great versus units. They just have a huge charge up time while they do bounce the shots across multiple units. We do got a couple Cloudbursts now available, and Cloudbursts will eventually start picking away the Shrieks. This Factor maybe actually get killed. There you go, the Shrieks are now down. And one of the factories, this Ford factory has been picked off. The Shriek is starting to slowly whittle away these buildings. And overall, just quite a number of artillery from both sides. It's been quite a bloody battle. Here's some idea of the income. Even though he only has 4 extractors, he's still somewhat keeping up, though he's still greatly out ecoed. We've got a number of wall segments coming in for some hard points. Looks like he probably could with the Commandos, even the damaged Predator up there. Get as much value out of them as possible. Or some Guardians. And get the Guardian Light Artillery upgrade. That is still a thing, ever a thing. Looks like these Aversion Fields will start to be cleaned up. But the reinforcement of the Howlers will do a significant amount of damage, but he's just being way out egoed. His opponent's just brute forcing way into his base. So he has destroyed this line here. He is actually still has these small, actually reestablished small hubs thanks to these Cloudbursts. More and more Aversion Fields are coming up. He should focus those down, get them while they're in the building state. Because soon, oh, looks like that Hailstrom gets pushed to the other side from where he was attacking from. Looks like the beta player may be running out of economy in some areas. He's at minus 111. I guess he's just establishing more and more extractors. This field's almost dry, so we may want to move those extractors, or at least one of them now. I was just slowly picking away at these buildings. We do got a Shriek here. Could go try to hit some other buildings. So they do got an attack over here, mostly Howlers. Crashers are probably a bit better versus buildings. They have a higher DPS. Do got a couple Cloudbursts come in. This destroy that single Shriek, but these Cloudbursts are not going to do anything versus these Howlers. Over here we got a front line being established. We do got some predator on these hard points. Does have the echo force fire the ground right there, so that frog can start jumping around any unit that comes by. I have a couple stalkers here. The Howler suppliers focus fire the stalkers. Does it take out the economy right there? And he has established a couple more extractors. Picked off a low health one appears. Trying to reset up some of these small hubs. He may as well just sell off this area until he gets a significant force. We do have actually a significant force actually showing up, but there's actually too many cloudbursts, really. He's not building any more shrieks at the moment, or is he? Is he in this right here, so no. And howlers are being picked up by the commandos in the rear. We'll destroy one of those refineries, so that is a bit of a blow. He's trying to get the catalyst vent plug, get another finding point inside his base. You also got a fugue. I wonder if the catalyst plug can turn into a fugue, into a coda, I mean. What the hell? Really? Really? Aversion fields? We might as well do amplifier spikes and turn some of them to plasma spikes, really. And one of them to a tether. And one into a detection. Perception. Because this is just way too many aversion fields. You thought the commando shots were annoying over time. These aversion fields can really put them down to you like that also. He's starting to slowly pick away at them, seeing they don't actually fight back. They don't do any damage. Cloudburst is just going along for the ride. Then one of these aversion fields will be picked off, the forward one, but isn't it some sort of aversion field deals damage upgrade over time? You may want to invest in that. We got a decent amount of howlers now coming up. Yeah. These aversion fields are just stupid. Yeah, he has been out hanging in for quite a bit of time. These aversion fields are just very tanky. Well, they do a good job as a wall unit. So they got this force heading up here. He's starting to hit this extractor line, trying to build up his own walls. Wall segment kind of got sold off there. And my game's actually started to lag up with all these wall segments and everything. Of course, I think the recording should be fine because it takes priority, I believe, in visual graphics on my game. You got a significant amount of force here. It looks like this force was sort of cleaned up, but the very powerful AoE damage is quite a little bit too good, really, for the Howler upgrade. So they have a really big radius. And more aversion fields are coming up. So he's starting to clean them up as they're being built, so they do take additional damage. So these things can actually be cleared. We got a bit of a wave of howlers coming up. But all they will find is a lot of fire. Oh, that was a pretty good hit. We got these extractors not being cleaned up. Now he's just going to clean up all these walls, all these aversion fields. Or he could just ignore them and go straight for the base. We got a huge wave of howlers here. Oh, we got a dirge. But it's at only level 1. It needs to get level 2 as quickly as possible, and so it needs to sit on resource field. I wonder if we can level up the level 2 even though it hasn't gotten it yet. So it looks like it's going to see a fire. It does very pitiful amount of damage. You got a wave over here. The Dirge should start focus firing over here. Can do some damage. It only does 100 damage, and is damage over time pool. But it does actually pretty good slow. So using the Dirge for combat right now is actually pretty good, though it's not getting the stage 2 upgrade anytime soon. It does have 3 armor and 2,000 health, so it's very resilient. But he may want to research into Virgin Field healing upgrades just to get this thing repaired. Because that's, I believe, the only way you can repair it. More and more Virgin Fields are coming out. And this unit's sort of more or less being sent to its death at the moment. He's being receiving so much focus fire from the nearby unit, running it's down to half health. But now the Virgin Fields will protect it. I think he was actually running to the Virgin Fields on purpose. Let's fire a bad shot over there. He needs to focus on this group. We've got a large assault coming over here. It looks like Hotline's going to take this game eventually. But these Virgin Fields have just been proven very annoying. There is a Virgin Field damage over time upgrade, isn't there? Or is it another spike? Or one of the spikes? It has to be some sort of damage upgrade for the Virgin Fields. I think the tier 1, the economic tier, is a Virgin Field does healing, does the extended amplifier range, and suicidal tractor, so perhaps maybe not. Because the Dirge will go down. Not every day you see an epic unit go down by gunfire, but then again, if he was at level stage 2, this would have been a whole nother story. Because he would have got quickly stage 3. You don't see any hand of Rook, in fact he has pretty much claimed the entirety of the map. This event will start to be cleaned up. And it looks like he's going to cast some GG because he knows he's just lost. He could stall out for more, but no point really. This is Agion saying he has won game number 1. On to game number 2, whatever that would be like. One Agion here. Game number 2 between Hotline, well this is Suds, and Hotline. We've got a factory opener. Not big surprise, he did this last game. Didn't really build much. I think another commando, mainly just to partial scouting for some harassment bit. But looks like both sides are just going to do their initial eco. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward about a minute or so. And it looks like he's actually going to go for straight into rushing. I don't see any extractor coming down. He looks like he's going to spend... Oh, here we go. There's another... It built a couple, or at least a commando, scouting out. It looks like this Mimic. Wait, no, this is the Mimic. He actually got a significant amount of damage on the Mimic. I thought the commando is lesser to the Mimic. It does have more health, but less damage. Rate of fire is 1, so actually the commando can actually get out the Mimic for a starting unit. And losing that initial Mimic is actually huge, because now he has to build an advent, which takes a very long time. And now he has to build a unit to get another extractor. It's just basically losing your initial Mimic. It means game over. Because I don't think he may just now have enough vision to actually reach the catalyst node. But he's going to have to build a unit to get to the next catalyst node. Poking away at the entity with your commandos takes a very long time. It looks like we do got another extractor, a couple more factories being summoned. He may just do a commando or stalker rush. It looks like he's going to do infant build queue with stalkers. He's going to rush down his opponent knowing he killed off that early Mimic, knowing his opponent's economy is way behind. Asher's going to come forward, which will probably kill both the Commando, maybe not the Commando and Stalker. Couple more advents. Want to get a amplifier spike or two there. And I'm just going to losing that initial mimic is huge. It means he needs to send out a random unit around the side to get placed on extractors. So he may want to build a mimic or send over a clasher to do that. But losing that mimic is actually huge. He's having a decent amount of clashes right now, so he can start brawling against these units. This one does get pulled back. It's pretty low health. Really, he should just let them fight, sort of pull back, and then re-engage, so they do a retargeting thing. Because overall, he needs, if he's going to get those healed up, he's going to need to get aversion fields plus the upgrade. This will start going to hit the extractor, forcing his opponent to engage. Hooks off those weaker ones, very nice. And start focusing fire. And the clashes do get focus fired down. Even chasing down these clashers. That doesn't manage to pick off that one, but with 20 health can't really do that much. He could try poking in. I think all it now got me. Yep. And with extractors going down, that's going to mean the end of the game. Yeah, that mimic loss is huge. Imping off these units one by one as they come out of the factory. You can start focusing down. Of course, it'll take a very long time to need that 10 armor. And this is the end of the replay. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.